Retailers are looking for the next big tool in efforts to get consumers to spend more at their stores, and the solution could come from a Toronto startup. It's called InnerSpace, and it was founded in Toronto back in 2014, and it's come up with a way to map indoor spaces, giving retailers a tool to really track foot traffic as well as much, much more. Joining us now for a closer look is James Wu. He's the co-founder of InnerSpace. James, good to be with you today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk first a little bit about what you've created, this indoor mapping, as opposed to just using everything for the outside. This is really focused on the inside to help customers being driven to businesses.
That's right. So just like GPS did outdoors, our instant mapping and location platform is making it really easy to bring that same experience that GPS did outdoors to the indoors.
So what exactly does it do?
So with our sensors, we can take a completely empty space, like not an empty, but a retail space or an office space, and go and instantly deliver maps and accurate location within minutes.
So how does that benefit the retailer who's trying to really, I guess, assess where they are in maybe an area within the mall, or how does that help inform the retailer?
So retailers, particularly brick and mortar retailers, they are waging a war with online retailers who have all of this information about how their customers use their websites. Brick and mortar retailers don't have that same level of insight about how their physical spaces are used. So by installing our platform, they can immediately get information about how and where people are using their physical spaces, what the foot traffic is like, where are people spending time, and they can use that information to help optimize their retail floor plans.
So that's within the store. Now, are you also providing this within, say, a mall as an example, or within the path downtown, so that downtown Toronto, that is, so that people understand, you know, maybe at what time of day people have the highest foot traffic of which do they want to turn right, do they want to turn left? Does it get that technical and detailed?
Yeah. So our solution isn't just focused on retail. We're actually focused on all of the indoor spaces, because there are a similar set of problems that anyone indoors encounters, whether it's wayfinding within a mall or within the path, whether it's asset tracking within a hospital or a warehouse. All of these business solutions are based on the fundamental need for accurate location indoors and context to that location, which is a map.
Well, what's the technology within your device that that allows you to do that, but that's also differentiated versus what's out there in the market?
So what's out there in the market today is really a grab bag of solutions that address parts of the problem, but not the entire problem end to end. So there are businesses out there today that sell beacons that can provide some positioning information to a retailer. There are businesses out there today that will come and, as a professional service, map your space. But nobody's doing this end-to-end to make it really easy for people to opt in to an indoor location solution and have business value within minutes. So what we do is do it end-to-end. So we provide the maps, and that's done automatically and instantly.
Okay.
At the same time, we also provide the location. So within minutes of plugging in our sensors, you're ready to go. You're getting business value right away, rather than having to engage in weeks to months of effort in order to start to get value from your investment.
Well, as an example, what would you see? And let's use the hospital as the example. What would be a good example in terms of what you would actually be tracking?
Sure.
And where the value is?
Yep. So hospitals are a very interesting case of asset tracking. So hospitals have all of this very expensive equipment that they invest in on a monthly basis, whether it's their wheelchairs or their pumps or their defibrillators. All of these things cost them money on a monthly basis, and they want to make sure they are optimizing that spend. So knowing where these things are within a space, knowing how they're distributed through their facility, can help them make informed decisions as to whether or not they need to spend more on more equipment, or whether they can pull back their spend and just redistribute the assets they have.
Why wouldn't a tracking device on those assets do the same type of job at the end of the day?
So there are, as I said, there are lots of solutions to these problems. The question is, how much effort do you have to invest in order to get that solution? So with InnerSpace, you can minimize that effort down to minutes and start getting value from your investment in an indoor location platform right away.
From a reporting perspective, is that what you mean?
From a reporting perspective, from a tracking perspective.
Okay. Okay. James, let me just ask you one last question here, and it more has to do with starting a company. You do have funding from Canada.
That's correct.
And you also have it, though, from Silicon Valley. We talk so much on BNN about whether or not there's enough money being put to work for Canadian companies that really want to start a great company. You say what to that?
So Canada's a great place to build a business. And so is Silicon Valley, and we've always looked at, often in the startup community, you look at it sort of competitively. The way we look at it in InnerSpace is that to build a global company, you need to build a global network of people who can help you understand the global ecosystem, help you get connections to the right people in the right places. So we've been able to raise money in Canada, we've been able to raise money in Silicon Valley, and we see that, so we see going to Silicon Valley not necessarily as out of necessity, but out of desire to build a global company.
And what do you think is going to be next? First, this product launch is Q2 of next year, correct?
Yep.
And how are you going about your sales process?
So far, we've been very fortunate in that the demand for the solution that we've been building has been so high that our customer pipeline they've entirely found us. They've come to search us out because they felt the pain of trying to deploy indoor location previously, and they recognize the solution that we are delivering solves that pain. So far, we've been very fortunate to be able to focus our money on our engineering efforts and have our customer pipeline come to us.
Which leads me to the next question. I know we have to go, but where are you manufacturing your product?
Right now, we're manufacturing our product right here in Toronto.